What's good, everybody? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of the Celebrity Junk. Guys, today we're talking about Candace Owens. And Candace Owens, for most of us that know her, she is a black conservative social media influencer, similar to people like, Brandon Tatum and Anthony Brian Logan. African American, I believe, or Caribbean American, I'm not sure. She's married to a Caucasian man from the UK, and she's known for some of the controversial things that she says, not just in politics in general, but towards the black community in particular. And she was recently on a show with Tucker Carlson. Now, Tucker Carlson, who's a conservative out of San Francisco, California. I've watched a lot of Tucker Carlson. He's an excellent debater. I believe that he has some strong points in some of his political standings. But, Candace Owens, before I get into this, she's always wondering, why she doesn't get support from the black community and why the African American community doesn't celebrate her or stick with her. And it's things like this that is the reason why Candace Owens and many black conservatives like her get no respect in the African American community, okay? Now, what Candace Owens is saying is that this trial towards George Floyd, that Chauvin didn't get a fair trial, all right? He was convicted on all three counts, second and third degree murder charges. Obviously, we know about the video kneeling on his neck for 9 minutes. And what Candace Owens is saying to Tucker Carlson is that this is mob justice. This is what happened. The media influence and all of that. The media was powerful enough to create a simulation and decide upon it without, any facts. Okay. And, she's getting at the Democrats and Black Lives Matters and all of this. Well, here's what I want to talk about. Candace Owens, you're conservative. Remember when Ronald Reagan was the president in the 80s? And the Republicans and the GOP were painting a lot of African Americans as being on welfare, lazy, didn't want to work in commercials. This whole idea that African Americans are lazy and we're all gunslingers. Well, how do I know this? Well, I was in Uganda. I've been to Africa many times, but the one time that I want to talk about right now is Dar es Salaam. I was in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania in 2018, and I was deciding if I was going to, move my Kindganda media outlet there, which is what we do have. I hadn't started it yet, and I was there, and I was hanging out at this Tanzanian restaurant, and the person I was with was an Uber driver, and we were having just lunch and dinner, one of the two. And one of the ladies came up and said, "This guy is an African American," and he was like, "Yes." And it was in Swahili. She didn't speak English, and she said, "I'm surprised that he's not a thug." And it's funny that she would say that, because this is what the media has portrayed about blacks all the time, even to other Africans. If we want to talk about whether the media was powerful to create a stimulation and decide upon the narrative absent without any facts, that's exactly what the media does to black people all the time. They paint us in a way in which is not true. It's true for some of us, but not all of us. I don't see Candace Owens doing that when the media is miscommunicating the fact that black people are lazy or black people are all crazy and all this other stuff. See, Candace Owens doesn't want to talk about that. But in a similar fashion, because Chauvin, who had his knee on someone's neck for 9 minutes, when the man is saying, "I cannot breathe." And I'm talking about like 10 seconds or 9 seconds. We're talking about 9 minutes, not wanting to get up. He deserves a fair trial. Okay, Candace, well, what about George Stinney? George Stinney didn't get a free trial. We know what happened with him, right? Do you really want to know? George Stinney was sent to the electric chair in 1944. It was an unfair trial of murdering 2 white girls, which he didn't. You want to talk about that? You want to know how many black men have had unfair trials that have been exonerated because of what's happened, but with no video evidence is what's going on. See, we all see the video evidence. Now, as far as him, and I'm talking about the brother here, George Floyd, being on fentanyl. Okay, I can understand him painting it his life like he had it all together and stuff like that. Obviously, I don't believe that part, that he was like such a great member of society and he was getting everything together. That could, he probably was doing a little bit better than what he was in Texas. Okay, I know that they did kind of gas it up. I get it. But see, it has nothing to do with the fentanyl being in this system or not. Why is the guy's knee on his neck for more than 9 minutes? I mean, the jury was able to see the body cam footage. They were able to see the altercation in which he went into the store, why the police was called. They were able to see the whole timeline. Narrative absent any facts. Were you in the jury? Like, this is what I'm talking about. You're not there. I believe that the jury had information in this case that people are now going to be getting out on the outside. Okay? And furthermore, Candace, why are you sticking up for people who won't stick up for you? Now, this is not about an argument, but see, when you talk about the black community and who you want to be fair to, you're not for the black community. Let's just keep that where it is, okay? I mean, obviously, you look for any chance to defend the Caucasian. You're married to a Caucasian, which is totally your right. But don't come and try to act like you're a voice for our people. Because our people have systemically been getting treated bad for a long time in America. I'm not making excuses for it, and I know we do cause of our problems. But I don't hear you asking for unfair trials for blacks. I'm seeing you asking for an unfair trial for a man who put his knee on the neck of a black man. Then you wonder why black people don't respect you. But here's something else, Candace Owens. Let me tell you this. White folk don't respect you. They can't. How can they? Because you don't even have enough respect for your own people. How can anybody respect you when you are turning your back on the only people that you have, which is the black American community? It's like, how could you even, I mean, like, do you understand what blacks have been through in America? And you come with this? What would fair have been to you, Candace Owens? Not guilty? Then you wonder why the black community don't want to talk to you. I mean, isn't it obvious? Isn't it clear? Doesn't it make sense? Sure, it makes sense. Okay? And this is why those black conservatives like Candace and guys like that, like, come on, like stop acting like you have ties to the African American community when we know that you don't. A lot of y'all, and I know this isn't really doing it, but I'm just gonna say this. A lot of y'all not even married to black people, right? We know what you like. We know who you rooting for. I know that doesn't have anything to do with what I'm talking about, but in a way, it kind of shows what's going on here. Okay? You're not tied in whatsoever. Just leave it alone. And stop trying to get clout off your own people because you only got one chance to mess up with them. And once you do, you're done. Well, guys, what do you think? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. I really appreciate you for all that you do. Subscribe with the bell. Check out the first comment pinned to the top. Check out the Black Men Are Perfect t-shirts. And as you know, the buffoonery remains at an all-time high. I'm out.